Hey, BassGeek here. Do you hate a nibbler? I hate a nibbler. I'll tell you that right now. I got a bait that's going to fix those nibbles for you. That's right, geeks. So I've been fishing a Damiki rig forever. I mean, way longer than there's been any sort of forward-facing sonar. Used to do it back with 2D sonar, you know, the A scope, as someone pointed out, live, even flashers, which A scope kind of is the same thing. All that being said, a lot of times, man, those bass can come up and just nip at that bait and they'll miss it. And when you swing, they know not to hit it again. Omega Custom Tackle has dropped a new head that I may have suggested, along with a lot of other pros. That's going to solve that problem for us all. This is the Omega Hookup head. One of the things that I've always done, I've rigged it several different ways over the years, has put a stinger hook on here. Now, this is not only great for your minnow style baits, but this is incredible when you're fishing finesse swim baits like your Kitex. Omega's really done an incredible job. This is a tungsten weight, so you're going to be able to see it. For those of you that are using forward-facing sonar, you're going to be able to see it incredibly well. And they've come out with several different sizes. I love the black painted head, by the way. For me, in ultra clear water, a lot of times with the tungsten, what I'll do is I'll try and scuff up the head so it doesn't have as much flash. Love that black head. Now, the three sizes that I picked up, this is the 1/2 ounce size. They've got it in a 3/16, and they've got it in a 1/4 size. Now, let me show you how I'm going to rig this to start with a swim bait. So to show you first off how I rig this on a, I think this is a Bass Munitions. This is a sour grape, great smallmouth color, by the way. So again, I always start off doing things the way I always do it. I kind of measure it up there. And, you know, right back here, I'll kind of leave my finger. And what I'll do is I'll just take and pick right there, pick that rib that I know it needs to come out in front of. Then I just shove it up on there, trying to keep it in the middle of the bait as best that I can. Keep it good and straight and come right out. Now that keeper, I always turn it sideways just a little bit and then turn it back straight. That way it gets a nice little bite. There you have it, it's on there good and straight. So then all I do is I take this and just bring it straight back and barely skin hook it into some of the ribs. There we go. Just barely skin hook it in some of the ribs. You can see it's going to give the bait plenty of movement to roll, plenty of action. It's good and free. You can leave it a little looser if you want to. I like to get it as far back past this hook as I can. And now I go fishing. Now, this is something you're not going to want to use on the bottom, of course. But if you're fishing out there in open water or you're contouring a bank, this is going to get you a lot more hookups and put you a lot more fish in the boat. All right, geeks, so we're going to use the pit seam knot. We're just going to wrap around here about 5 times. Then we're coming through the loop. We're going to pull it down, moisten, try not to stab ourselves in the face with a hook because there's a lot of them on here. And we are going to clip our head. Now, today we're going to be using these new Ramsey that I had made. Ramsey baits, I'll show you. This is the 4-inch smelt. I like these. They're clear. They've got a really good pearl essence green back to them. As always, we're going to measure it up. Just use my thumb to mark. Come in right in the center. Put my hole. And then we're going to come right through the dead center of this bait. It's cold out here today, so forgive me. My hands are barely working. There we go. Push it up on there. Get her good and straight. Get that hook out of my hand. And then what we're gonna do, so I'm just gonna take that thing and bury it right there. Now, let's go fishing. All right, geeks, so before we go on, I wanna make sure, you know, this is my dream boat and I wanna keep it protected. And one of the ways that I keep it protected, especially this big beast, the Merc back here on the Green Goblin, is BIA insurance. I've had a lot of you guys, and it is boat buying season, reach out to me and ask me, BIA.us. It's that simple. When you go, make sure you tell them BassGeek sent you. If you get a free quote, all you do is pick BassGeek. They've added me to the list. I feel special. But make sure you protect this. And I'm telling you, a lot of times these package deals, if you're tournament anglers, do not give you the proper insurance you're supposed to have to be fishing tournaments. A lot of times, if those insurance deals find out you're fishing tournaments, they won't cover you if you have an accident while in one. BIA knows what you need. Again, BIA.us. All right, so let's talk about rod, reel, and line for this awesome little bait. And it's gonna be the same exact rod, reel, and line, no matter if you're fishing it, you know, using forward-facing sonar as a, you know, jig head minnow, or whether you're using it as a swim bait head, you know, going down the bank, trying to catch some bass with it. And that's gonna be the TFO Tactical Elite. It's a 7'3". I like a little bit longer. You can go with a 7 foot medium fast action. This is my favorite. Now, of course, it depends on what size head you're using. You might want to go with a medium light, how shallow you're fishing. But this is kind of my do-all, go-to spinning rod size, that medium fast. Now, the Tactical Elite, I will tell you, has been replaced by the Taction, upgraded parts, not an upgraded price, but I'll put links in the description for all that. This is an incredible rod. I've caught a ton of fish on this, and I've got it paired with the Lew's Custom Pro. This is probably one of my favorite spinning reels right here. It is, I think it runs in that 100 to 120 range, but it is incredible. Does an incredible job. Again, links in the description. I've got my high vis pink canine braid on here, super smooth casting, 10-pound test, and that goes to a Pro 100 fluorocarbon leader. I'm telling you, geeks, try it out, 10% off. You want to check this out. So as far as fishing this bait goes, it really depends on what bait you have on there. Now, one of the things that I love to do without forward-facing sonar is take a jig head minnow, go down banks just like this, and just let it pendulum, or banks just like this big bluff right here behind us. Show them that, Mike, if you don't care. Those are some incredible banks to be able to catch some bass on. Now, they're also great places to use the paddle tail along with it. Now, me personally, if I had to pick one bait that I'm going to fish during the wintertime, it absolutely has to be the good old Kitech Swing Impact Fat. It is a wintertime staple in my area, and you will catch fish when nothing else will catch them. So when you make that cast out there, what you're going to do is you're just going to shake that rod, just barely shake it. You don't want a lot of shake on it during the cold weather. Just barely going to shake it, and you're going to reel. It's like I say, if you're touching the bottom, then you're reeling too slow. If you never touch the bottom, you're reeling too fast. When you feel that doink, make sure you set that hook straight up is how I do it. And then I reel down and to the side to keep that rod tip low. That way the bass isn't jumping as much. Now, they're not going to jump a whole lot during the winter time, but hey, trust me, you're out here braving the elements. Don't let that bass get off. Reel down, and then you can thumb him. You can boat hop him if he's a dink. Now, I don't suggest boat hopping on, 6 and 8 pound test line, which is what I'm using most of the time. The line does get brittle in the cold weather. But get that net or get your thumb down there. Try to keep your hands dry. It'll help, trust me, out here in this below freezing weather. Like I said, in the cold weather, I hate a nibbler. This bait is going to solve that issue. You're going to boat more bass this winter. When they're finicky, they come up and swipe at it, you got their bass. So make sure you go check out this head, the Hookup head, in the description below. There's going to be links. Omega Custom Tackle. They make a ton of great baits, guys. The hooks they use are incredible on their jigs, and you're not going to have to deal with those stupid nibblers this winter. Now, they make a weedless jig that I did a video on a few years back, so you definitely want to go check out that video. You can see that right here. Otherwise, questions, comments in the comments section below. You geeks know I love to talk fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so that you can be part of the 100% Watch Squad. You get the notifications when these videos drop. As always, you geeks rock.